Tony, what would you say your feeling is about what you've seen from Travis Hunter through 3 games? How would you describe your reaction to what he's done?
I think he is pretty much exactly what I thought he would be on defense, right? Like, I think you can already make a pretty compelling argument that he's their best cover corner on the football team, right? And we've seen it. I am bummed out for him and for everybody. I think the conversation about him would be very different if he had been credited with the game-ending play that he made. You know, a couple weeks ago there in week 2 up in Cincinnati, but it doesn't
Jags
count.
3-0. Travis Hunter won one of those games.
Right. Like that kind of, like the conversation would be very different in a lot of ways. I think offensively, they don't want to expand it too much with him yet because of everything that they're asking him to do. Right. So I don't think if people are like, well, Diami's out, so now they'll expand everything with Hunter. I don't think that's how they're going to look at it or deal with any of that. I would like to see him downfield a little bit more, I guess would be, if I had a critique, it would be that I would like to see them use him downfield a little bit more because I do think he's a viable weapon in that kind of regard. But I've been pretty good with everything that I've seen from it so far. Throw it to him a little bit more, I'd be very happy with it.
Yeah, I've been underwhelmed with his usage on offense. I mean, they have tried to get him some short area targets, get him going. You know, we finally saw him make one of those kind of plays this week with that 21-yard reception where he made a couple of guys miss. They did get him deep in game 1, and Trevor underthrew it. They had him open for a touchdown in the end zone in the red zone in week 2, and, you know, Trevor underthrew that one as well. So, you know, it happens. I'd like, you know, I think we'd all like to see him like the NFL on fire like Emeka Egbuka has, right? 14 catches, 3 touchdowns for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he is trying to do something more challenging in a different way. Obviously, Travis Hunter trying to keep his head right in 2 different spheres. Liam Cohen talked about Travis Hunter yesterday. We're going to hear Trevor Lawrence's thoughts on him as well. And one of the first questions having to do with Travis was, is he where he needs to be right now offensively?
I would say he's behind. I think we can probably do a better job of helping him in some ways. We had a great talk with Trav after this past game in terms of just, man, like, all right, how can we help you and put you, because guys, right, what is he learning? It's a lot. So we've got to, I think, be a little bit more diligent in terms of putting him in positions to maybe not have to do as many moving parts. So that we can just let him go play. You saw, you know, he catches the outcut the other day and makes multiple people miss. And so that's what we're trying to continue to push, and that's got to be on us as well. Yeah, he has a hand in it for sure. Absolutely. But I do think we can help him more.
I think that is a nod to, you know, just the mental load that's on him right now. You know, some of those alignment penalties or illegal shifts were on Travis Hunter. Yeah. And it is a lot to ask any rookie. It's a lot to ask any rookie to come in and nail the offense or the defense, for that matter, through 3 weeks. But to try and at least nail your role in both is something. I don't think they're having, like, I'm sure they're communicating with Travis Hunter on a daily basis. How you feeling? You know, are we putting too much on you? Do we need to back off? Can we put more on? Whatever the case. But that sounded like he's maybe swimming in deep waters here a little bit. Let's try to get his mind right on what he is doing on offense.
Well, and I think it's fair, the conversation around Travis Hunter, the people that have questioned whether or not he can do this, right, in the NFL, kind of a lot of the national conversation around that kind of thing that's been going on. We have those questions here in town too. The question was never whether or not they're going to try this. Like, that has never been on the table. They're going to try it, right? Travis Hunter, this is obviously something he's wanted to do. He wants to play on both sides of the ball in the NFL. Well, now everyone's trying to figure out what exactly does that look like, right? Like, how do we get him mentally prepared to do offense and defense? And, by the way, be a player that we want to feature on offense and on defense, right? It's not like we just want to play him a little bit on both sides. It's like, we think he can maybe even be our guy, you know, on both sides of the football. We have that kind of belief in his potential, right? So trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like, I have no question that, at least based on anything we've heard or seen from Hunter to this point, that he's not diligent doing the work, right? Like, he seems to love it. this is something that he's wanted to do forever. We're all trying to figure out exactly what that looks like. But again, it's one of those guys where if it doesn't work, it's because it just didn't work. It won't be because he's not putting in the work to try to make it work. Like, everyone's going to put in the effort I think it's going to take to make these kind of things happen. And let's hear one more from Coach Cohen when asked about Hunter yesterday. And it's a question that's come out a lot this week because of what's going on with De'Ami Brown. What exactly is the role going to be for Hunter in the offense? Is he the guy that they're going to turn to? But a broader question than that, Coach was asked if Hunter's usage would change on offense or defense based on injuries that they might encounter on either side of the ball.
Yeah, he's right now one position on offense and one position on defense. So that doesn't really fully change. It's just more the next guy having to go and adjust to go play some Z, which is what happened in the game. So no, I don't think it changes much.
I think they're trying to say, let's not put too much on him here too, right? Like, this is what we're teaching you to do. You're the flanker. That's what you're going to do. You're going to run these routes in these formations and learn all this. And if De'Ami's out, Parker Washington's going to step into De'Ami's role. Your role is not going to change. We're not going to make you Brian Thomas Jr. if Brian Thomas Jr. and ask you to run his routes if Brian Thomas Jr. were to miss time here.
We may give you more in the game just naturally in the flow of the game.
You may get more opportunities.
Right, but it's not going to be because now you're doing his job. You're doing your job.
Right. We're not asking you to learn every receiver position right now. Here's your job in all these plays, and your job is not going to change. Now, look, if you have 3 injuries in game, you got to do what you got to do on the fly, right?
Change,
but ideally, we want to keep you doing what you're doing so you can focus on doing that, doing it repetitively, and ultimately doing it very well. And then I think the idea is future years, that can all grow.
Yeah.
But right now, again, he's already being asked to do more than most typical rookies would have to do. So there's your answer, basically. Parker Washington's going to step up and be a much bigger part of this passing game. And he already has done that. And he did have the drops, and I know Liam Cohen went on to say he hasn't lost any confidence in Parker Washington. I don't think he has. 2 drops in a game is not going to overcome all the positive goodwill that he built up this offseason, looking great on the practice field. So, Trevor Lawrence talking about Travis Hunter yesterday and what they want to try to do. And I think it's been clear what they're trying to do. Nothing too complicated. Get him the ball. Let him use his natural athletic ability to make guys miss, a la that one play that we saw this week. But hadn't been a whole lot of it yet. But Trevor acknowledging that when Hunter gets the ball in his hand, special things can happen.
Man, he's just special with the ball in his hand, so finding those opportunities, we got to continue to do that because you've seen the plays that he can make. And, I missed him on one earlier in the game where I should have hit him going across the field. So that was an opportunity. But, just to keep finding ways to get him involved. We have a lot of guys that are dynamic with the ball, but he's for sure one of those. And we got to continue to find ways to do that because he's a weapon with it.
Yeah, and it can't always be, though, hey, Travis, here's the ball, go make 2 guys miss.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, eventually you got to get him to the point where you're getting him.
He can do that on occasion. But,
right, exactly. That's part of the package of what he brings to the table. But, hey, how about leading him with the guy on his back hip so he can run away from somebody, too, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you. This is, for me, through 3 weeks, 76 yards on 10 receptions. That's a lot. I don't know exactly what the number was. But if you would have told me it would be double that, I think, that seems reasonable, like 50 yards a game kind of thing. But he's got a long way to go to hit that 800-yard mark as a rookie this year.
Yes, he does. As you said, it's under 100 now, 3 games into it, so we'll see.
Brenton Strange at 137, by the way, leading the way. You would have won a lot of money from me on that as well. I would have thought Brian Thomas would be like, I don't know, 210, 220, and something like that. Yeah, he could have been, right.
Yeah, It's not like the opportunities for him to be that haven't been there. It just hasn't come through on the other side.
7 catches on 25 targets. I mean, by far the most looked at receiver in this offense. Brian, it's not like they've gone away from him at all.
No.
Despite, they're trying to let him battle through the drops, and they realize the potential because you saw it in that game-changing play at the end. I won't say game-winning play, but it was, put him on the precipice of winning.
Well, and I think it gives you, looking at that kind of number, with what's going on with Brian Thomas Jr., I think it gives you an idea of just how different this football team is than the two recent Jaguars teams, right? Like it's 23 and 24, the back half of 23 and everything we saw in 24. Could they overcome anything like this and win anything?
No.
Right. Like this football team is finding a way despite that. And a lot of it is they're getting pressure up front. They're very much taking advantage of the opportunities that's affording them on the back end, which obviously they didn't do either of those things at all last year and they can run the ball, right? Like they actually can run the ball when they want to run it this year. And they haven't been able to do that since 22. You know, for this football team, like it's been a long time since they've had those things. So they've been able to get past some of the issues that Brian Thomas Jr. is having here early in the season. Now, it can't last. All that stuff's got to be worked out. Eventually, it's going to bite them. So they got to figure some other things out with Brian Thomas Jr. Just catch the ball when it hits you in the hands. And one more here from Trevor Lawrence yesterday when asked about Travis Hunter. And you mentioned a few moments ago, Mike, the issues they've been having getting lined up, right? And one of the guys that's had some of those issues is Hunter. Like it appears that it's Hunter that's had some of those issues. So Trevor was asked about the communications he is having in game with Hunter as these things are going on.
I try to grab him as soon as I can, between series and all stuff, because if he's going to defense, obviously he's not going to be over there. So just trying to grab him right off the field as soon as I can. Game day's a little bit tougher. Sometimes I got to find him a little bit after the fact, just because I know he's running around trying to make sure he's not going in on defense. So the communication's been good, though. He's been really receptive. He's been around, looking at pictures or whatever on the iPad. If I have to go grab him, he's always been there. We haven't had a problem with that yet.
Challenging, though, right? I mean, because he is being pulled in different directions, and he is in different little huddles on the sideline, and he's running out there, and you're out there on the field. Like, TV timeouts are big, I think, for this football team in making sure that you account for every second to make sure that Travis Hunter, and he's not the only guy that needs a little help, but obviously he's in a unique position to take on a mental workload that's bigger than pretty much anybody other than the quarterback. I still think the quarterback's mental workload is probably the biggest, but because you can rely to some degree on your natural ability if you're Travis Hunter, particularly on defense. Hey, see the guy, cover the guy, go where he goes. And, it's more complicated than that, but not as complicated as trying to dissect a blitz flying at you in 2.5 seconds or whatever the case may be.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey here, thanking you so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube. But before you click away, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and be sure to check out our other team-specific channels on the 1010XL network on YouTube.